what is habeas corpus, and does it differ from criminal court to immigration court? This is Christina Williams with Just Criminal Law.
And David Mann, legal storytelling specialist. Okay, yeah, I think I speak for a lot of people when I say the term habeas corpus, we've heard it recently a lot. What does it actually even mean?
Well, it's a Latin word, like many legal terms, and it means to hold the body or to have the body. And what it's referring to when it comes to a criminal case is, say somebody went to trial and they are needing to have their case reopened, and say they have a witness who recants their testimony or new evidence surfaced that was not allowed in or put before the jury at the trial, or perhaps they had an attorney that was considered ineffective or didn't help them or actually caused them to not have a fair trial. The remedy for this is to file a writ of habeas corpus and ask the court to reopen the case and have a hearing to see if maybe a new trial is appropriate. And so that's in the criminal world. Now, when it comes to the habeas corpus, we're hearing a lot of that in the news right now as it relates to immigration.
Right. So in the criminal way that you just described, can a person just decide, hey, I don't like this conviction, and then get a writ of habeas corpus, or do they have to have something more substantive that they bring before the court in order to get the writ of habeas corpus?
Yes. So they're asking the court to at least have a hearing and listen to what their attorney has found as far as if there's new evidence or a witness, says, I lied under oath, my testimony was false. They have to have some support for this writ of habeas corpus, and that's just the petition to go before the court, that it's appropriate to consider reopening the case. And so sometimes they'll get like an affidavit, that's a sworn statement from a witness supporting their claim in the writ. That witness may say, yes, I swore falsely at trial, and then the judge looks at the affidavit, which is, again, a sworn statement in writing, and then the court can decide to have a hearing, a short hearing, to determine whether or not to allow the case to be reopened.
Okay, so and habeas corpus is in the U.S. Constitution, so you say there's a differing use of it, whether it's a criminal case or immigration in particular?
Yes, and when it comes to an immigration case, sometimes we have non-citizens who are being detained or held, and they haven't had a chance to have a bond hearing. They're just in jail, and their attorney can file a writ of habeas corpus on their behalf to let the court know, hey, this person's in custody, they haven't had any sort of hearing, and this is illegal, and ask the immigration court to set a hearing to see what that evidence is that the attorney has to show that this person is being detained illegally.
Okay, so someone who is in that situation that you just described really needs the attorney to sort of see that there's maybe a case to be made and know how to file a writ of habeas corpus. Is that right?
Right. I mean, if you're being detained in, for an immigration hold, an ICE hold, and you haven't had a chance to go before a judge. I had an example of this just this week where an individual was arrested for a DUI, and there was an ICE hold. He did not go before the DUI court, the criminal court, and ICE was just going to come and pick him up. Now, he was a documented person. He had a valid temporary work permit, and so there really was no reason to have an ICE hold, and so I was able to make some phone calls and have him released. And, he still has the pending DUI, and I'll help him with the DUI, but again, I'd like, just to remind everybody, a DUI conviction is not something that's going to trigger deportation. So this individual is here legally. He has been charged with a crime. He hasn't been convicted of that crime. But even if he is convicted, that's not a deportable offense. So having an attorney that recognizes, who to call and how to help is very important.
All right. So if someone needs your help, either for an immigration-related matter or otherwise, how do they get in touch with you?
Sure, we'll include a link in the description where they can call, text, or chat with a member of my team anytime, day or night. Here at Just Criminal Law, we know you only get one shot at justice, so make yours count.